Hello, everybody. We're going to have here like a summary of the class number 2 corresponding to level 5A, Centro de Idiomas UNED. So I'm going to proceed to share the screen so we can start with the class. Well, first of all, I would like to share the table of contents. So here we have what we're going to go over today. Let's start with the introduction. So remember that I assigned you certain homework. Only 4 people sent it via WhatsApp last week. If you haven't sent it, you're still having the chance to do it. Remember that it was an audio. And please follow the steps that I specified on the previous PowerPoint presentation corresponding to week number 1. Then, and the step number 2 for this table of contents, let me remind you on the access of Oxford Learn, which is the platform that we're going to be using this quarter. I sent you the invitation yesterday, so you have access to it. It's very important always to use Oxford Learn, since this is our platform and you have the right to access to it, to check the information, to practice on what you need, right? So we access to oxfordlearn.com. Please let me know if you happen to have any situation or any problem with it, so I can definitely help you out right now. At the moment, I don't see any person part of the course yet, but you need to access in the following days. So I will appreciate if you access. This is how it's going to look like. Let me put it here so you can have an idea. So it's this one that we have here, and we access to the platform. You access to the content. This one, what you're seeing is the teacher's version. Of course, is different, the student's version, but it's always necessary to follow the steps. The same platform is going to get you is super friendly user. And right now what you have available is, well, the calendar, the course syllabus, and then we have extra tools and introductory information, which is what we studied last week. Also, you have exercises available in reading. So in reading, we're going to use for this week R1, and listening, we're going to use L1, working conditions. Those are the ones that we need to use this week. And continuing with the calendar, how to survive is the topic, and we're going to think of some advice. I'm going to give you more details on it. And then we have grammar. So how we can use verb plus object plus infinitive or gerund. Remember, the infinitive is when we use to plus the verb in its base or verb form, and then the gerund, which is the one ending in ing. Okay, this is basically what we're going to cover today's class. So let's start with how to survive. I need you to please go to page 55, and we're going to read together the second part of the text. Let me open this text here. Going to show you the virtual art. Here you go. Well, in this one, what we have is how to survive exam stress. Wow, very common, right? We have a test, regardless what we study. You know, when human beings listen the word exam, it triggers anxiety. It triggers a lot of pressure on our shoulders. So I'm going to read it, then you can read it out loud, verify if there is any new word that you don't understand. This one says, organized. Make sure you have all the things you need for the exam the night before. Stationery, your identity card. Last minute searching for things can really stress you out before an exam. Yeah. Imagine that you go to the test and if you require a calculator and you don't have one. So definitely that's causing you a lot of stress, having your pens, your pencils, ruler, etc., any material that you may need for the test. The second part is the diet. You need to, will never go to an exam on an empty stomach, as you can end up concentrating more on your hunger than your exam paper. Before you go to the exam, eat foods that are energy producing, like fruit and protein. And at the same time, not too heavy so that they won't make you sleepy. If possible, take a water bottle to the test, to the exam hall to rehydrate. Relax 1 hour before the exam. Relax. Don't feed yet more information to your already overfilled brain. Whatever you have learned, be confident of it and try to picture a calm stream or take some deep breaths. You have done your preparation and now you should prepare yourself to give your best. The number 4, it's plan. Once you get the question paper in your hand, read all the questions and make a quick rough plan of how you're going to invest your time in order to do your best. Mark the questions where you know you can answer easily and do them first. This will make you feel more confident. Never lose your cool if a question comes up which you didn't prepare for. It's too late now, and your focus should be on the present moment. Number 5, cross check. In this part, it's very, very important to check your answers. Again, at the end, try to allow yourself a final 15 minutes to read through your paper and make any necessary corrections. Number 6, often after an exam is over, people worry about the results or waste time discussing what their friends have written. Realize that the time to do something about the results was over. When you handed in the answer sheet and knowing how your friend did isn't going to help you at all. Concentrate on how you will face your next exam if you have one, or just relax and be happy that's over. This one is taken from the WikiHow. You know, WikiHow is famous because they have important information summarized in a very attractive manner. So when you're looking for something that you don't want to read a lot of information, a lot of details, you can get it from here. All right. Again, I recommend you to read it out loud to check any word or phrasal verb, idiomatic phrase that appears here that you don't understand, and look them up in the dictionary. So we're going to move to the next part. In that page, on the page 55, what we're going to do is in an individual manner, you're going to choose one of these topics. We have 4. How to survive a family holiday. How to survive a children's birthday party. How to survive a visit from difficult relatives. And how to survive a trip to the dentist. So analyze it. Check one. I need you to please select one out of these 4 topics And then what you're going to do next is think of some advice you can give to a person that can be easily posted on a Padlet. So I'm going to give you the link for the Padlet at the end of the video. Well, at the moment that I'm attaching the video to the email. So I'm sending you the link for the Padlet so you can access there with no problem. You're going to write headings for at least 4 tips and plan one information to give under the headings. This is how the Padlet looks like. So you're going, very important, you're going to click here on the plus sign button and you're going to type information. Don't forget to add your name at the beginning or even at the end of your information. And here you're going to be able to see the participation of all of your classmates, especially of your teammates. So let me open Padlet here. I think I have it open. This one. So you go here, you click on this part. Okay, here you type the subject, right? So how to survive, how to survive, etc. on the selected topic. You type whatever you need. You can add images, you can add attachments, you can change the background, and you can add, of course, when you finish, you can add the name. So I know that you participated, and then you go and you publish the information. Your teammates can go, and they can give you a like, they can comment also on what you have posted. Okay, so I am encouraging you to do this and to comment on your teammates' information. In this case, I'm going to delete my post because it doesn't have any content. But while you're watching the video, you are seeing how you can use it. Okay, so this is the link. You know what? I can add it here. Going to add it in the PowerPoint presentation. So you can have that information there available without any inconvenience at the moment that you are watching the video or the presentation itself. Okay. Again, if you have any question about this topic or any of the following topics or information that we're going to handle, please do not hesitate to ask, and I will be happy to help you. Then let's move on. Well, here you have the link. Export. Okay. Once you have finished with this part of the WikiHow, on the advice that you created on this step, you're going to organize those ideas into a well-developed paragraph. At this level, you have the ability to write, I hope, without any convenience. A paragraph, it could be from 3 to 5 sentences, right? We can have simple sentences, complex sentences, compound sentences, compound complex sentences also. It's necessary to take advantage of phrasal verbs, relative pronouns, connectors in order to give more sense to the development of our sentences and to use vocabulary that we have been acquiring in class, and also remember the dictionary is your best friend. The last week on the first class, I told you to use word reference, also to use the Cambridge dictionary. So you can use either or in order to enrich your vocabulary. The following step will be ready to share it in an oral manner next class. So even though that you have posted the tips, the headings on Padlet, you're going to share it orally next class or the beginning of the class. We're going to have sort of a round table in which everybody is going to present their findings, right? And we're going to comment a little bit on them. This is super enriching for the development of the class because we're having different points of view, different perspectives, right? And at the end of each person's presentation, anybody, even myself, can ask you questions, right? So we can start this round table with all of the energy and positivism. Then we're going to move to the grammar part. In the grammar part, there is one grammar exercise in page 55 of your student book that is going to look like this: grammar, verb plus object plus infinitive verb or gerund. In this activity that we're going to do is select if they are right or they are wrong. And we're going to do it individually because everybody's working from home at the moment of watching this video because of the unfortunate situation that happened yesterday with my internet. So we are seeing it from here and you're working with your book, or you can even work from the same video. If you don't want to use your book, you can do it directly from here. You can have a digital version and take screenshots and work as you desire. Okay. So I'm giving you some minutes to read the 8 statements, right? And involved what we have here, the letters that look darker, we're going to analyze those and we're going to find if there is any mistake that we want to correct. So if they are completely correct, we're going to add a check mark. If they are wrong, we're going to add an X. And please add the correct answer when they're wrong because we need to learn, of course. Okay, so I'm going to give you some minutes to work on it. reread them if it is necessary. In this one, we haven't studied any theory yet. What we're playing with is your prior knowledge, right? When you remember from previous courses from your background. All right, I think there was enough time for you to complete them individually, the 8 different statements. Well, in this case, let's check the answers. Number 1, that one, we need to make a correction. In here, we have, I was always made to load. We need to connect made with load with an infinitive. So made to load here. Let me see if, I'm not sure if the pen is working. One moment, I'm just trying to see if the pen is working. Sorry. Here. To load. Well, we already have load there. So, sorry, let me delete this part. And we leave it like this. Right? The number 2 is correct. Try not to keep them waiting. So that one is correct. So I'm making it here. Correct. The number 3, we're going to have, I don't mind you not tidying. We need to use the gerund. Okay, so we add this part, the ing. What about number 4? I hate my parents talking to me. So we're connecting it with the gerund. Talking. So we add here ing. The number 5 is correct. What about number 6? I want you to stop. So we're eliminating that extra that. I want you to stop. And we're adding the infinitive before stop, right? The infinitive form. Eliminate this. Then we add 2. Number 7. I suggest you revising with ing. Going to it here. Let's see, I suggest you revising. And this one is with ing. Sorry, so what we're going to do is eliminate that ing. Gerund form. This, and we put the vowel E. I suggest you revise for 2 hours a day. And the number 8, could you let me have? That is correct. So check this part. If after watching the video or you're still having doubts, you can send me an email or you can tell me the next class and I will be happy to help you. We're going to have a grammar presentation, ladies and gentlemen. And this one is in a separate PowerPoint. So let me open it here. So I like first when we have like the sort of introduction of the material that we're going to discuss, and then we get down to business. This one, verb plus object plus to an infinitive. All right. We often use the following verbs plus object plus to plus infinitive. Examples: ask, advise, allow, beg, cause, enable, encourage, expect, force, intend, invite, mean, order, persuade, remind, take. We're talking about take time. Teach, tell, and warn. Please reread them and see if there is any word that you don't know so you can look it up in the dictionary. All right. So let's see the examples. I'm going to read the first example. We expect the flight to arrive at 7:50. Expect the flight to arrive. Check what's in the middle and let me use here laser. Expect the flight is the object. To arrive is a verb in infinitive. Remember, when we have infinitive, we are not using conjugation. We are not using S for third person, for the third person rule. The second example, it says, it took me forever to get there. And this one is a little bit more complex. We have the verb in past, took, then the object, me. In forever, we have this extra word that is not changing the meaning of the sentence in terms of grammar. And then after that, we have the infinitive to get, right? This is the emphasis of the sentence. The second one, the third one, sorry, that we have here, she advised him not to travel by train. Advised, okay, the verb in past. Any of the conjugation of all the 13 verb tenses that we have in present simple, we can use there. And then we have the object, which is him. And we're going to use it in a negative manner, so we use not before the infinitive. Not to travel by train. Okay. Important to know that after the verbs advise, persuade, remind, teach, tell, and warn. You can also use an object plus that clause. Example, the airline advises that you carry your passport at all times. The airline advises that you carry your passport at all times. Okay? This is the that clause. Let's move on to the second slide. We also often use object plus the infinitive with want, with like, and with prefer. It's key to notice that we're not using like or prefer separately. We're using would like and would prefer. Examples, I want you to call the airline. I would like you to send me the bill. Okay? Want you to call. Have the object there. Would like you to send. After these verbs, that clause is impossible. Example, I will hate that you think. It sounds sort of weird, right? We can say that after some verbs, including love, hate, rage, wait, plan, ask, we put for immediately after the verb before the object, to plus infinitive. For instance, we have, I am waiting for my friend to arrive. We have arranged for a taxi to come at 6:30, right? Let's repeat the examples. I am waiting for my friend to arrive. We have arranged for a taxi to come. For. And immediately we have the object. Let me use a color here so we can highlight that part. All right. I do apologize about the noise. Here in Cartago is raining cats and dogs. I can't help it. Verb plus object in base form. We can use object plus base form after let, make, and help. So let me bring to the table some examples. Please let me explain. He made me feel really guilty. Can you help me do the dishes? Those are the famous causative verbs. Let, make, and help. Notice what is different in comparison to the previous explanation. We are not using the infinitive, right? We are not using the ing because those are the causative verbs and that rules are like that. We're using it, you know, English is just like that. So we're following the rules that have been used through the past of the years. When make somebody do something, that's the meaning of SB, somebody, and SCH is something. When make somebody do something is used in the passive form, it is followed by the infinitive with to. We were made to clean our rooms every morning. Okay? That's an exception to the rule that we need to pay attention to. Okay. It's very important to tell you that you have the possibility to go back on the video whenever you need, and there is like one part that it wasn't clear and you need to pause it, you need to take notes, please feel free to do so. That's the purpose of this video, right? For you to have certain guidance, it's just not a written guidance and that's it. It's more interactive. And you have the opportunity to have the explanation done by myself, and you can go back, you can stop, you can take notes, you can look words in the dictionary, etc. Let's move on. Verb plus object and gerund. So here I'm going to give you some questions of this sort of combination. Please don't keep me waiting. I just like people telling me what to do. I don't mind you running in the yard, but please don't run in the house. The verb, the object, and then the gerund, which is that verb ending in ing. So this is the other form. Okay. Well, this is the end of the presentation regarding grammar. Now we're going to go back to the previous one. All right. On this part, we're going to complete the exercises in page 150. So let's open our book on page 150. And it says what we need to do. We're going to complete the second sentence so that it means the same as the first. Take special care because of the snow and ice. The police told motorists. The police warned motorists to take special care because of the snow and ice. You see? Let me check if I can open the book. I think I have it here. This is at the end, right? The part 150. Same. This is how it looks. How it looks like, let's see. So we have the theory, which is the presentation that I explained you previously, which is this part here. Recommendations that we need to go over. What I tell you about the passive voice. And in here we have the examples, okay? We have the combination and there are 17. So we're going to do all of that in your notebook. And again, if you want to use a digital version with screenshots or using Jamboard or Docs Google, you can do that with no problem. So that will be part of the activity. 150. I'm gonna move this in here a little bit. And we go back to the presentation. This one, it is going to be part of your asynchronous assignments, as I told you yesterday, to please to do so. And the beginning of the next class, this is another part that we're going to check. Of course, this video is not going to take us a regular class because there is not the participation and engagement of a class. I don't have any student. So if you have questions or if you're going to do something and then practice with your teammate and we're going to check the answers, of course, the video is going to have way less time than a regular class, in case that you're comparing the minutes to a regular synchronous class, as we tend to have here at Centro de Idiomas. Okay, now we're going to do this other part. This one, you're going to record an audio and you're going to respond these inquiries that we can find here. So let's see. Number one says, is there anything you would prefer people not to do when they are invited to your house? What kinds of things do you expect them to do? Number two, when you were a child, were you ever made to eat something you really disliked? What do you think your parents tried to make you eat it? Number three, do you ever need to spend time at home waiting for something to be delivered? What happens if you are out when someone tries to deliver something? Can you imagine yourself living in another country? How far and how different from your country would you prefer it to be? What kind of things do you dislike people helping you to do? What would you rather do them yourself? We're going to try to incorporate what we have studied previously, right? In your responses, try to analyze those cases, try to remember in scenarios in your life experiences that you had, right? I can think of many right now, but it's not the purpose talking about myself. It's about you, right? About your experiences. So I'm going to give you some minutes to read these sentences. You can pause it and go back to the grammar presentation. And also you're going to have two separate presentations. One is this one and the other one is with the grammar part aside the video. So you can go back and check the PowerPoint. All right, use the time that you need in order to record the audios. It could be all of them in one audio or in separate audios as you desire. You can send the audio via WhatsApp within the given schedule, or you can do it via email. So you decide how you're going to do it. Here, I have a recommendation for you. Send the recording before Friday so I can give you your feedback promptly before the class, right? It's difficult to check it like the same Saturday or Friday at night. So I recommend you to do it beforehand. Before any of those days. All right. So we're going to move to the next part. Let's move on. What is a TikTok? I remember that I talked about this the first day of classes while I was sharing certain tips with you and extra tools. So TikToks, I really love them. So let's see. I'm going to open, let's see, where is it? I'm going to open the link that you have here on the screen. Right? Let's see. This is the TikTok information. This is the link, speakerflow.com. And we're going to have a little bit of fundamentals of TikTok. I need you to please read a little bit of information about it. So this thing you can do it individually, of course, and we're going to watch the video.
Getting access to great ideas hasn't always been easy. Back in the day, you'd only be in the loop if you were literate, educated, rich, and a man. Good thing times have changed. The internet has made sharing ideas a breeze, and no one's doing that better than TED. No, not you, TED. I'm talking about the non-profit organization that's big on spreading awesome ideas. Twice a year, TED holds this conference where thought leaders from around the world give some mind-blowing talks. Then TED sticks them online so you can watch them for free. Volunteers translate the videos, which means anyone can be inspired by the likes of Bill Gates, Malcolm Gladwell, or Jane Goodall. So what is TEDx? TEDx is a way for you to run a mini TED-style event in your own town. Hold talks around issues that matter to your community, free from corporate, political, and religious agendas. So take part. Don't stop watching videos at TED.com. Keep an eye out for your nearest TEDx event, and if you're up for it, apply to start your own. TED. Ideas worth spreading.
Here in Costa Rica, we've had the chance to have many TikToks. I'm not sure if it has been like 3 or 4 editions so far. And we can find many people from different backgrounds, from different communities, showing their insights, right? Showing their inventions, vulnerabilities to the world. So we learn a lot. And in order to expand our vocabulary, to work on our listening skills, and why not? In order to learn something new, I strongly recommend you to watch one TikTok per week. Definitely, you're not going to regret. Here we have information, right? And all of this, we can find it here, and this link is a great summary. This one is one of my favorites, also the one of Dr. Cottis. There is one of Mrs. Shepherd. That's a girl. We're going to watch the video at the end of this quarter. So this is a girl who had an accident. She was an Olympic competitor and she had an accident and she couldn't walk. So that one is like great. Here we have a top 10 TikToks on YouTube for the year 2019. You can see them. All right, the topics. They talk also about medicine, right? So this is like different information, not easy to find in social media, right? In order to enrich your knowledge, read the info found on the previous link, right? Read all the information that I told you. You can watch the video again. You can look for more tech talks in YouTube or techtalk.com. And now we're going to move to the part of try something new for 30 days. This is a specific tech talk, right? This one was created by Matt Cuts. So here we have the information. This one appears in the book as well. Here we have the link of YouTube. So let me open it. So you can see it. Okay. We're going to watch it together. Just let me move this part here, making it bigger.
A few years ago, I felt like I was stuck in a rut. So I decided to follow in the footsteps of the great American philosopher, Morgan Spurlock, and try something new for 30 days. The idea is actually pretty simple. Think about something you've always wanted to add to your life and try it for the next 30 days. It turns out 30 days is just about the right amount of time to add a new habit or subtract a habit, like watching the news, from your life. There's a few things that I learned while doing these 30-day challenges. The first was, instead of the months flying by forgotten, the time was much more memorable. This was part of a challenge I did to take a picture every day for a month, and I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing that day. I also noticed that as I started to do more and harder 30-day challenges, my self-confidence grew. I went from desk-dwelling computer nerd to the kind of guy who bikes to work for fun. Even last year, I ended up hiking up Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest mountain in Africa. I would never have been that adventurous before I started my 30-day challenges. I also figured out that if you really want something badly enough, you can do anything for 30 days. Have you ever wanted to write a novel? Every November, tens of thousands of people try to write their own 50,000-word novel from scratch in 30 days. It turns out, all you have to do is write 1,667 words a day for a month. So I did. By the way, the secret is not to go to sleep until you've written your words for the day. You might be sleep deprived, but you'll finish your novel. Now, is my book the next great American novel? No, I wrote it in a month. It's awful. But for the rest of my life, if I meet John Hodgman at a TED party, I don't have to say, I'm a computer scientist. No, if I want to, I can say, I'm a novelist. So here's one last thing I'd like to mention. I learned that when I made small, sustainable changes, things I could keep doing, they were more likely to stick. There's nothing wrong with big, crazy challenges. In fact, they're a ton of fun, but they're less likely to stick. When I gave up sugar for 30 days, day 31 looked like this. So here's my question to you. What are you waiting for? I guarantee you the next 30 days are going to pass whether you like it or not. So why not think about something you have always wanted to try and give it a shot for the next 30 days? Thanks.
Okay, that one was a super quick tactic because regularly they take 15, 20 minutes. That's like the maximum. All right, let's see. Okay, so what we're going to do on this part is, well, first we're going to do the activity in page 56. So let me get my digital book. Where is it? And we're going to go to page 56. No, page 57. Let me correct here the PowerPoint because I spotted a mistake. Page 57. Sorry. Still having the sequels of COVID-19. Horrible. Let's see. This is the part. Okay. So we just listen to the tech talk. We're going to do this part so you can watch the video again. You have the link here added in the presentation, and you're going to organize these slides in order. Oops, it was page 56, sorry. Yeah, I remember. It's because it changes in the PDF. All right, good. All right. This is the part that we're going to use. Again, if there is any new word that you don't know, please feel free to look them up in the dictionary. This one I need to correct it again. Now we're moving to this part, okay? We're going to think of a 30-day challenge that you would like to do. And you're going to make notes under the following headings: what the challenge is, what I haven't chosen it, what my previous experience is, how I tend to go about it, how I think it might change me. So those are the headings that you need to write information about. And here we have some presentation tips. The number one, organize your presentation logically so you can remember what you are going to say. Speak slowly and pause between important points. Make eye contact with the people you are talking to. Don't read your notes. Use your own words. If the audience asks you questions, answer them honestly and clearly. And be ready to present this next class, maximum 5 minutes and no less than 4 minutes. So between 4 and 5 minutes. I'm asking you this amount of time because of the level of English. You are on the highest level of English right now at Centro de Idiomas, so I require you to use more, of course, to do your best to go the extra mile. The next activity that we're going to do now, we're going to go to page 57. And you're going to see the compound adjectives. TED is a non-profit organization. You might be sleep deprived, but you will finish your novel. A compound adjective is an adjective made up of two parts and is usually written with a hyphen. There are also last names with hyphen, like this famous actress, Jada Pinkett Smith. So it's hyphenated last name, Pinkett hyphen Smith. This is just an example of another way that we can find a hyphen. And we're going to do this activity that we find in here. This one is what we just read. And we're going to do this activity that we have. We're going to combine the words from each list to make 10 compound adjectives and use them to complete questions. And then we're going to use the exercise D, use these compound adjectives to complete some high frequency collocations, right? Collocations will be the combination of the compound adjectives with phrases. And you can say, teacher, but why? Why they go like that? English is like this. For many, many years, we have been using it in that way. That's the way it goes, right? So those are common phrases that we're using in that way, and I recommend you to keep them that way. Let me go back to this part. There is a video that we're going to watch. This is a video about compound adjectives. Let me open the link to that video.
Con Didi Food hay de todo para todos, con hasta 30% de ahorro venciendo de restaurantes cerca de vos.
My job is to make college easier because students...
I know, we're skipping the ads. This one, I'm going to put it here. It takes 14 minutes. So again, you can pause it, etc.
Compound adjectives in English. Let's look at the following sentences. I saw a man eating alligator. I saw a man eating alligator. What is the difference between these two sentences? The first sentence has a hyphen, which is a little dash between the two words man and eating, and the second sentence doesn't. Is there a difference in meaning? Yes, there is a big difference. Let's use some cartoons to show this. The first sentence contains a compound adjective, man-eating. A compound adjective is an adjective that contains two or more words joined by a hyphen. In this case, we are joining the words man and eating to create the compound adjective. This compound adjective describes the alligator as one that eats men or people in general. Is it a banana-eating alligator? No. Is it a hamburger-eating alligator? No. It is a man-eating alligator. Compound adjectives appear before a noun and act as a single idea, a single adjective, that describes something. The second sentence doesn't have a compound adjective. There is no hyphen between the word man and eating. Why? Because we're talking about how we saw a man who was eating an alligator. We are not describing the alligator. So quickly looking at both sentences again. The first sentence, I saw a man-eating alligator. We're describing the alligator. What type of alligator is it? It is one that eats men or people. The second sentence, I saw a man eating alligator. I'm talking about a man who is eating an alligator. As you can see, the hyphen, or lack of a hyphen, makes a big difference in the meaning of the sentence. Let's learn more about compound adjectives. As we have seen, a compound adjective is an adjective that contains two or more words joined by a hyphen. I live in an English-speaking country. English-speaking is a compound adjective used to describe the country. We use a hyphen to connect the word English with speaking to show that it is one adjective or one idea. What type of country is it? It is an English-speaking country. Look at this sentence. She is a world-famous singer. She is not just a famous singer in her country. She is also famous around the world. So she is a world-famous singer. In general, we do not use a hyphen between two adjectives. She has a big blue book. Big and blue are adjectives, so we do not put a hyphen between these two adjectives. This includes when one of the adjectives is also a compound adjective. Look at the following. He lives in an old coal mining town. Coal mining is a compound adjective that consists of coal and mining. What type of town is it? A coal mining town, a town where they mine coal. But we have also included the adjective old because it is an old town. We didn't put a hyphen between the word old and coal because coal is part of the compound adjective, coal mining. In general, we don't put a hyphen between two adjectives, including if one of those is a compound adjective. So how can we make compound adjectives? Which parts of speech can be a part of a compound adjective? Here is a list of the most common types of compound adjectives. Periods of time. One very common use of compound adjectives is with periods of time. The compound adjective is made with a number plus a period of time. Some examples include 5 minute, 3 hour, 10 day, 6 month, 20 year. It is important to note that the period of time needs to be in singular form. 5 minute without an S, not 5 minutes. Let's look at the first example. I work an 8-hour day. We do not put an S at the end of hour. We cannot say, I work an 8 hours day. This is not correct. The time period needs to be in its singular form. I work an 8-hour day. This means that I work 8 hours every day. There is an S at the end of hours in this sentence on the right because it is not a compound adjective that goes before a noun. Look at these other examples. I had a 3-week vacation. This means I went on a vacation for 3 weeks. There was a 5-second delay. There was a delay of 5 seconds. Notice how we normally write the number as a word, not in numerical form, unless it is a very large number. And remember, it is important not to add an S at the end of the compound adjective. I had a 3-week vacation, not 3 weeks vacation. Number plus singular noun. When we have a number before a noun in a compound adjective, that noun is always in singular form. This not only applies to periods of time, as we have already seen, but with other nouns too. Some examples of compound adjectives that are made from a number plus singular noun include 5-minute, 3-hour, 10-story, 1-way, 20-page. Our example sentences: I had to print a 10-page document. No S at the end of page. You need to go down that 1-way street. We live in a 2-story house. Note, when we're talking about the level of a building, story with an E is used in British English. Story without an E is used in American English. So in American English, it is written as we live in a 2-story house, where story doesn't have the E in it. Adjective plus noun. Some examples of compound adjectives that are made from an adjective plus noun include last minute, full length, short term, long distance, high quality. Our example sentences: I made a last-minute decision to stay home. Most of their staff are on short-term contracts. We create high-quality resources. Adjective plus present participle. Some examples of compound adjectives that are made from an adjective plus present participle include good-looking, long-lasting, easygoing, tight-fitting, quick-thinking. Our example sentences: it left a long-lasting taste in my mouth. She wore a pair of tight-fitting jeans. The quick-thinking staff got everyone to safety. Noun plus present participle. Some examples of compound adjectives that are made from a noun plus present participle include mouth-watering, record-breaking, time-saving, English-speaking. Our example sentences: I bought some mouth-watering strawberries. Yum. That was a record-breaking jump. I used to live in a Spanish-speaking country. Noun plus adjective. Some examples of compound adjectives that are made from a noun plus adjective include world-famous, smoke-free, ice-cold, gluten-free, family-friendly. Our example sentences: we often go to the family-friendly restaurant near our house. There is nothing better than ice-cold drink on a hot day. Could you buy me some gluten-free cookies, please? Noun plus past participle. Some examples of compound adjectives that are made from a noun plus past participle include wind-powered, sun-dried, middle-aged, water-cooled. Our example sentences: we should start using wind-powered generators to cut costs. I added some sun-dried tomatoes to the platter. My new water-cooled gaming PC is quieter than my old one. adverb plus past participle. Some examples of compound adjectives that are made from an adverb plus past participle include brightly lit, well-known, densely populated, highly respected. Our example sentences: this classroom is a brightly lit room. He is a well-known actor. They live in a densely populated city. Adjective plus past participle. Some examples of compound adjectives that are made from an adjective plus past participle include old-fashioned, long-forgotten, ready-made, short-lived. Our example sentences: I found a long-forgotten painting in the attic. He doesn't like to cook, so he buys ready-made meals. They had a short-lived romance. I hope you found this grammar lesson about compound adjectives useful. If you did, click the like button and subscribe to our channel so you know when I create new videos to help you improve your English.
All right, so we're going to continue. This one is a video that I found pretty useful and very complete with what we require in order to have all the information regarding compound adjectives at an advanced level. That's the reason why I have chosen it. Well, remember that I told you about these activities, and here we have more examples of compound adjectives when they are found in the combination of number plus noun. A break that takes 10 minutes is a 10-minute break. Adjective plus noun, a bike ride over a long distance is a long distance bike ride. Adjective plus present participle, a person who works hard is a hardworking person. A noun plus present participle, an athlete who breaks records is a record-breaking athlete. Noun plus adjective, a room that is free from smoke is a smoke-free room. Noun plus past participle, an engine cooled by water is a water-cooled engine. Adjective plus past participle, a man with a bad temper is a bad-tempered man. Adverb plus past participle, a city that has a dense population is a densely populated city. And here we have more practice that we can use. Describe the nouns using compound adjectives. The example that we have for the first one, a walk that takes 10 minutes, a 10-minute walk. And then we're going to do the same with all of this. If you're not sure about the meanings found here, I recommend you to use wordreference.com, or even you can use Cambridge or Oxford dictionaries. We're going to move on to the next exercise. We're going to have a match here. We're going to match the words together to form 12 compound adjectives. On this part, we have part, well, middle, English, narrow, all, 5, far, for, eyes, last, and home. In the other part, we have different words. Some of them are ending in ed or ing, as many others, and we're going to have the correct combination, okay? This is an exercise that we are doing. In case of doubts, please reach me. I will be happy to assist you. On the part C, use the compound adjectives in exercise B to complete the sentences. So here we have many sentences, and we're going to use the information from this exercise in order to fill out the blanks, okay? 12 different situations there. Let's move forward. And this one, we're making an advertisement using at least 5 compound adjectives. So we're going to be ready to share this the next class. The advertisement is going to be something short. You can use visuals as you like. Let's say that you can create an infographic or short video or an audio as you desire by using 5 compound adjectives on it, something very short, let's say 2 minutes. And this is in order to produce more Englishes about, of course, moving to different phases. Like when we have the presentation of the topic, then we have the practice of it. And at the end, we have the production. And this is one of the most important parts of learning any language or learning something new in the university or any other course that you are taking, because you are proving to the teacher, you're proving to your teammates that you have learned, right? And you're putting that into practice, using different skills and high level of thinking and analysis. So we're going to create, as I said to you before, an advertisement using 5 different compound adjectives. The next part, well, the last slide actually that we have here is the closure for this mini lesson. I'm telling you to please make pauses because there are activities that we need to do. We need to invest time on the audios, right, on the recordings, on the creation of the materials and everything that has been asked to be completed in this presentation. So you need to invest at least 1 hour, 40 minutes, 2 hours more out of the time of this video, right, in order to complete what you're supposed to. Thank you so very much for your attention. I'm going to be sharing this via email, via WhatsApp, and also I'm going to post it on Oxford Learn. Again, don't forget to access to Oxford Learn so you can start working on what is available there. Listening 1 and reading 1 exercises. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend and a beautiful and amazing week. See you the next Saturday. Bye-bye.